Hello students, welcome in our third session of lesson. This is Jodi's fawn. In the second part, we have seen that Jodi went in jungle to find out the fawn because he was very curious and generous too against the fawn. He went with the mill to find out it in the jungle, and he found that many buzzards were gathered around the carcass of the doe, and therefore he was very uh, sad, and he found that he searched out the fawn here and there. He circled around the clearings, but he didn't find it. Only he found the some footprints of other animals like cats, means a big cat like a tiger. And then see what happened in the third part. Is he able to find out the fawn or not, is the third part, and what did he do with his. Okay students, so let's see third part of the this is Jodi's fawn. Look, movement directly in front of him startled him so that he trembled backward. Movement, he found some movement directly in front of him, and therefore he stopped himself. He trembled backward, he moved backward, and he found that there is a something. Okay, so the fawn lifted his face to his, and meanwhile the fawn that he was looking for lifted its face to the Jodi. It turned its head with wide wondering motion and shook him through with the stare of its liquid eyes. And when the fawn saw the Jodi, it turned its head with wide and it wondering the motion and his shook him through with the stare. It stare means to look at. So it look at it to the Jodi with its liquid eyes, means very cute eyes. Okay, like a watery. So it was quivering. Quivering means shaking slightly. So it was quivering means shaking slightly, and it made no effort to rise or run. Means that fawn made no effort to rise or run when it saw the Jodi near him. Okay, so Jodi could not trust himself to move. And then after, when Jodi also when saw the fawn in front of him, he also could not trust to move, right? So he whispered, "It's me." Like he told that fawn that it's me, please identify me. I am here to take you to my home. Okay, like that he whispered, means speak very slowly or lowly. Okay, so the fawn lifted its nose scenting him, and when Jolly reached the fawn lifted its nose and scenting him, means try to identifying him. He reached out one hand and laid it on the soft neck, and when Jolly reached the fawn, he uh, reach one hand and touch it with a soft neck. As you know, the fawn is very younger one, its hairs are very soft to touch. Okay, the touch made him delirious, and when the Jodi touches the fawn, it made him delirious. Delirious means very excited. Okay students, so he moved forward on all fours until he was close beside it, and as he was very excited, he immediately moved forward with all four, and he reached him very closely. He put his arm around its body, as he was very excited because he got the actual fawn for which he was looking for, and therefore he was very excited. A light convulsion passed over it, but it did not stir. And then what happened? When the Jodi touches the fawn, the light convulsion passed over the fawn, but it did not stir, it did not move. Means that fawn was shivered when Jody touches its body, its neck, but it did not stir, it did not move from the side that where it was standing. Then let's see on the next page. He stroked its sides as gently as though the fawn were a china deer. And Jody, when it touches it, it that touch was as gentle as it was like a china deer. Means it was like a deer of clay that might be broken with the touch, and therefore he touches it very smoothly, very gently, and he might break it. Therefore its skin was very soft. The skin here, writer describes us the fawn. Look how it is. Its skin was very soft. It was sleek, means smooth and shiny. Sleek means smooth and shiny. It was sleek and clean, and had a sweet scent of grass. As it was in jungle, the skin of that fawn had a scent, means smell of the grass. He rose, look at that next line. He rose slowly and lifted the fawn from the ground. Jody roses towards the fawn and lifted it. It was very younger one, so he will be able to lift it. So he lifted the fawn from the ground. Its legs are limpy. Limpy means very trembling. Its legs are trembling, as because of it was he was feared, and therefore its legs were limply. They were surprisingly long, and Jody found that the legs are very surprisingly long, and he had to hoist the fawn as high as possible under his arm, and therefore Jody want to hoist. Hoist means pull up higher. Jody want to pull up higher the fawn as much as possible as he can, okay, under his arm. Look at that next para. He was afraid that it might kick and bleat at sight and smell of its mother. But as Jody lifted it, Jody was very afraid, because he thought that it might kick, means that fawn might kick and bleat at sight. And bleat at means waver or utter a cry. Why? Because of smell of its mother. As you know, as we know that the doe was killed by the Jody's father. You know that, okay? So he was afraid that it might kick and bleed, means utter a cry, when it saw the sight of the doe, that killed doe. He skirted the clearing and pushed his way into the thicket. He skirted means to run away, at the edge. He skirted he immediately passes that place and push his way into the thicket. Thicket means dense group of bush. It was difficult to fly through with his burden, and to Jody it was very difficult to move away, because as he has that burden of that fawn, and therefore he tried to push him away from the thicket and that place. The fawn's legs caught in the bushes, and he could not lift his own with freedom. As he was passing through the thicket, that fawn's legs were caught in bushes, and therefore it is very difficult to Jody to get out from that with the freedom. So he tried to shield his face from prickling vines, and therefore Jody tried to shield, to put over his face from that prickling vines. Pricklings means the vines which made stinging pain. So Jody want to put his head up from the prickling vines. Its head bobbed with his stride. And here what happened? His he head it's headed off with his stride. Stride means long step, and therefore Jody take long steps again. His heart thump. Look at that name. His heart thump with the marvel of its acceptance of him. His heart was thump here. His heart was like a he was very became emotional because of marvel acceptance of fawn. He reached the trail and walked as fast as he could until he came to the intersection with the road home. And therefore, Jody hastily passes the road and come across to the road of home. He stopped to rest and set the fawn down on its dangling legs. And as he fastened, he was tired and he needs to be rest. So he stopped to rest and set down the fawn on its dangling legs. Danglings means that weaker legs of fawn. It wavered on them, it looked at him and bleated. And when it looked towards it, it was bleated, means like it was like hanging on the legs. He said, Enchanted, I will carry you after I get my breath. He said, Enchanted, I will carry you after I get my breath. Means, as here, Jody was tired because of he was travel with the thicket and that sprinkling vines, and therefore he enchanted. He tell himself that I will carry you after I get my breath. He remembered his father saying that a fawn would follow if it had first been carried. And then he remembered his father saying that uh, if you would carry the fawn first time, and then it will follow you later. He started away slowly, and therefore he was not able to take a burden of that fawn. He started away slowly. The fawn started after him, and wow! And what happened? The fawn also started, means followed him. Later, he came back to it and stroked it and walked away again. But Jody was very kind hearted. He came back, he took it and again walked. It took a few wobbling steps toward him and cried piteously. It was willing to follow him. It belongs to him. It was his own. He was light-headed with his joy. And what happened, as he was very pity, means Jody was very pity, it was willing to follow him, but he was very light-headed, means he was that joy was very unexpected to the Jody, and therefore he took him up and start walking again. Jody, he wanted to fondle it. Fondle? Fondle means to love. He wanted to love it, to love fawn, to run and romp with it. Here, romp means play. It means Jody want to play with the fawn. Jody want to love it. Jody want to walk with. So to call it to come to him, he dared not alarm it. He picked it up and carried it in front of him over his two arms. And therefore, Jody picked it up, carried in front of him like a small baby. It seemed to him that he walked without effort. And at that time, as he loves the fawn, he seems to it like it was very light weighted and he walked without effort. His arms began to itch and he was forced to stop again. But after a while, his arms began to itch and he was forced to stop again. When he walked on, the fawn followed him at once. Again, when he walked on, as his father saying, the fawn followed him once again. He allowed it to walk a little distance, then picked it up again. Again, Jody allowed the fawn to walk a little distance and then pick it up again. The distance home was nothing. Now his home comes very near. He could not have walked all the day into the night carrying it and watching it to follow. He was wet with sweat, but light breeze blew through the June morning, cooling him. As he was tired and he wanted to the go, he wanted to come back to his home, but he was very tired as he lifted the fawn whole the way. But as there was a breeze blew through the June morning, it cooled him. The sky was as clear as spring water. The sky was as clear as spring water in a blue china cup. The sky, here, the sky was described. It was very clear, like a spring water in a blue china cup. It came to the clearing, and then Jody came to the clearing, means the plain ground. It was fresh and green after the night's rain. He fumbled with the latch and was finally obliged to set down the fawn to manage it. And it was his fumbling. Fumbling means that we say carelessly. He carelessly latch. He carelessly latch. And then latch means fasten. He carelessly fastened, hurried, and was finally oblique means thank, to set down the fawn to manage it. Then he had an idea. He would walk into the house. He had an idea as he reached very near to the house. He had an idea. He would walk into the house, into Penny's bedroom, means his father's bedroom, with the fawn walking behind him. But at the steps, the fawn barked and refused to climb them. But at the steps, as the Jody enters in a Penny's bedroom, the fawn barked, means was unwilling to come inside and refused to climb them. He picked it up and went to his father. And when Jody saw this condition of that fawn, he picked it up and went to his father. Penny lay with closed eyes. As his father was beaten by a rattlesnake, he was sleeping with the closed eyes. Jody called, "Pa, look." Jody called him, "Father, look." Penny turned his head, and as Jody's voice heard by his father, he turned. Jody stood beside him. The fawn clutched hard against him. And when Jody stood beside him, the fawn clutched hard against him. Clutch means grip. It come very closer to the Jody. The fawn come very closer to the Jody. It seemed to Penny that the boy's eyes were as bright as the fawn's. And when father saw, he found that the both of them's eyes were very bright. He said, "I am very glad you found him." And his father told him that, "Hey Jody, I am very glad and I am very proud of you. You have found it well." Jody then went to the kitchen. The fawn wobbled after him, means the fawn also followed him. A pan of morning milk stood in the kitchen safe, and he found that there was a pan of a milk in the kitchen. The cream had risen on it, and wow, the cream had risen on the milk. He skimmed the cream. Skim means removed. He removed the cream into the jug. He poured the milk into a small vessel. God means vessel. He held it out to the fawn. He buttered it suddenly, smelling the milk. And as he came, he took that cream and milk for the fawn, and he smelled the milk. That fawn smelled the milk. He saved it precariously from the spilling over the floor. It could make nothing of the milk in the cart. And as he served that milk to the fawn, nothing of the milk in the cart, means all the milk was drunk by the fawn. He dipped his fingers in the milk and thrust them into the fawn's soft wet mouth. He dipped his finger in the milk and thrust them into the fawn's soft wet mouth. It sucked greedily, and that fawn sucked the milk greedily. Hastily, when he withdrew them, it bleated frantically and butted him. He dipped his fingers again, and as the fawn sucked, he lowered them slowly into the milk. And as fawn was able to drink the milk, he lowered them slowly and removed his fingers from the milk. The fawn blew and sucked and snorted. It stamped its small hoofs impatiently. And then what happened? As long as he held his fingers below the level of milk, the fawn was content. It closed its eyes dreamily. It was ecstacy, means pleasure. Ecstacy means pleasure. To feel its tongue against his hand. It was very pleasurable when fawn was trying to drink the milk with the help of the fingers of Jodi. And it was a pleasurable thing really. Its small tail flicked back and forth. As you saw, I think you would know that the moment of their tail, the tail flicked back and forth with a very pleasure. The last of milk vanished in a swirl of foam and gurgling. And then the fawn drank all the milk. What a pleasure. And like this, that fawn grew with the Jodi. This lesson was written by Marshall Kinnan Rawlings. Here, our whole lesson was finished. Thank you for hearing. We will see all the question and answer in our next session. Right? Thank you.